Memphis is the home of the blues, rock and roll, and Earl Farrell.
From the Collierville Square to the mighty Mississippi, the Earl Farrell for Memphis show is all about good things that happen across the Bluff City and the people who make Memphis cool.
The Earl Farrell for Memphis show is made possible by our title sponsor, Southern Security Federal Credit Union,
Jim Karras Chevrolet with George Gully, For Memphis Magazine, the Live at the Garden concert series, and the Orpheum Theater Group Memphis, and by Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, family owned and operated for more than 40 years. And brought to you by High-Low Commercial Services, owned by the cleanest man in the world, and by Walker Auctions, LLC. When it's time to sell, Walker Auctions doesn't fiddle around. Thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible.
And now, coming to you from Lansky Brothers, Clothier to the King, inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel with the heart of a cowboy and Memphis in his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Earl Farrell.
And thank you very much. We are not at Lansky's Clothier to the King today. We're at Hernando's Hideaway, and we got a big show lined up for you today. It's all about Elvis Week out here. We're just a block away from Elvis Presley Boulevard and just a few blocks from Graceland. And Hernando's Hideaway has just as much history. In fact, they've even got the Elvis room here. Elvis played here back in the early 50s, one of his first public appearances. And, of course, Jerry Lee called this place his office. In fact, they even put a sign on the door back behind the stage that says Jerry Lee's office. So there's a lot of history here. We got Zane Lee, who really does all the sound and lighting here and everything else that's electronic. He'll be coming on and talking a little bit about the history and the owners now. And then we'll have J.W. Whitten, who was Jerry Lee's road manager for almost 50 years. He's got a lot of stories. I don't know if he will tell us all of them because some of them are still restricted. But maybe we can talk him into it. But we're going to start off with Les Kerr, who's originally from Memphis, but he's been in Nashville, the last 20 years?
I've been in Nashville since 1987, so about 39 years.
Wow.
And I spent my boyhood on the Gulf Coast and here in Tennessee, in Memphis, and Jackson, Tennessee, and all around. So I'm sort of a Mid-South, Gulf South kind of person. So.
Well, you know, the country's so homogenized now.
And I was a student at Ole Miss.
So you spread it all around.
I spent my college career in Memphis, Tennessee, as my grade point averages always reflected. It was great fun back in the 1970s, and I came to concerts here at the Mid-South Coliseum and went to Lafayette's Music Room and all that kind of stuff in its earlier incarnation.
But you've been around for years. In fact, I've got some photos here of you in the early years. This is with the Jordanaires.
That's the Jordanaires,
yeah.
And they recorded an album with me in the early 2000s. It was a Christmas album. I thought that was funny because they were concerned about their clothing, and they were looking at catalogs before the session started about what they were going to wear on stage. There we are in the studio, and Gordon Stoker on the far left, if you're looking at that picture, is his son and I are very good friends, Brent Stoker and his brother Alan, and that's kind of how I got involved with the recording with them. And they recorded for Elvis for 14 years on all those records, starting back with Don't Be Cruel and Hound Dog up into the 1970s. And they were so gracious to me. They treated me like I were Elvis himself. They were very nice.
Well, good people do that. They treat everybody the same, whether you're Elvis
couldn't have been more, and they worked with Patsy Cline and so many other greats.
Now, this is you. I thought this was the gentleman that was here warming up there playing tonight. And he said, no, that's me when I was 17 years old.
That's right. That was, I had a group called Les Kerr and the Blue Suede Band in Pascagoula, Mississippi High School, and that's me doing my best Elvis. My guitar player's mother, Gary Downs' mom, made that shirt, which had a high collar. Elvis was still touring. That would have been about 1972 or 3.
Sure, he was.
And so I was doing my best to look like him, and there we are. We would play high school pep rallies and talent shows and things like that, and everybody else of my generation were playing really top artists like Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Crosby, Stills and Nash, all these other groups that sounded like law firms. But I was hanging on to Elvis, and there I am there sweating it out, probably singing, Are You Lonesome Tonight or something like that.
Well, you were also a big fan. I'm going to show the picture first. This is Elvis, and
that's in
there
my
are four
hallway.
tickets there. That tell us about the tickets.
The tickets on the top are the times, as you see, they are torn because I actually went to those concerts starting in in 1970, and then the one on the bottom, the large ticket that is unused, was for a show on August 28th, 1977, and we all know what happened about a week before. And I was going to say, I was so happy that I was going to get to see Elvis in Memphis at the Mid-South Coliseum, but I did not get to see him there.
Well, certainly everybody has their own Elvis stories. Yours was that you were a huge fan then. But Elvis keeps touching all of our lives.
He does.
Almost 50 years since he passed in 1977. And just down the street, there are thousands of fans. Monday at Lansky's, there was so much dark black dye there. There's
You're right.
The rest of the country was without.
If I had any hair to dye, I would do it myself, but I don't.
Well, the rest of it got it covered for you.
That's right. That's right. Well, it's interesting because I was a news director like you were, and when I was in Mobile, Alabama, I learned in the early 1980s, I was there between 80 and 87, and I'd learned that Elvis had played at the Greater Gulf State Fair, which was like a regional Gulf Coast fair based in Mobile.
Right.
It had been less than 30 years since Elvis played there, so I found somebody who had been on the fair board back then, and I said, how was he? He said, you know, he was great, but he said, after he had that hit record, he wanted a total of $500 to play, and we just couldn't. They could have gotten Elvis for $500 with Scotty Moore and Bill Black and DJ Fontana, but they said, no, we can't afford that kind of money. So, you know, it's really something. You hear Elvis stories all over the place.
Well, and certainly this place, he played here in the early 50s, one of his first public appearances, and just down the street from where he would eventually buy Graceland.
Yes.
So it's just, and this place is jam-packed with history. And the great thing about it is bands, and you're going to play for us today, people that play here feel the history. And you look around on the walls, Johnny Cash, Sam Phillips is behind us with Jerry Lee, and Jerry Lee's got a picture over there. And so it is very historic, but it's living history. It's still happening.
That's right. There's nothing more intimidating than playing with a picture of Elvis Presley looking right at you, and Charlie Rich and Carl Perkins and all the great Memphis artists.
Well, I even heard the artist is here warming up earlier. He said, I'm getting kind of nervous, you know. And this guy, in fact, he was one of the tribute artists here a few years ago, Mr. Trevino. And he's from Fort Worth, which he's a fellow Texan. So it's one connection after another, and so it's just a lot of cool stuff here. You got a guitar you brought with you. That's right there. That was
this guitar was bought at the Tupelo Hardware Company, which is the same store where Elvis's mother purchased Elvis's first guitar in 1946. And I bought this, and they're still selling guitars. And what they did was find guitars of similar quality. Now, when I was on with you before, you had the gentleman from the auction company, and y'all tried to auction this guitar that I'm playing right now for $2,000.
Yeah.
This guitar, Elvis's mother paid $12.98 for his first guitar. This is a similar value quality guitar.
Right.
It's $169. Prices have increased, but it's not a bad guitar to play at all.
You strummed it a minute ago, and it sounds great.
It does sound good. It does sound good.
You're going to play something for us? Does this have an Elvis connection?
It does. It has a Memphis connection.
All right.
Everybody knows that if you're from Mississippi, the two biggest cities in Mississippi are Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana. So everybody, all my other songwriting friends write songs about their husbands or their wives or their significant other ones. I wrote this is called My Mistresses.
All right.
I've always lived a quiet life, an upright, faithful guy. But I've been blessed with one peculiar, wandering eye. If you know me well, you know what I can't refuse. A lady who can make me laugh or sing me the blues. I can't resist 'em, and I'll never kiss 'em goodbye. My mistresses are Memphis and New Orleans. I'm just like other Mississippi men. I know I can't have either one forever, but I gotta have 'em every now and then. Sophisticated sirens are tugging at my arm. One has a Cajun accent, and they both have southern charm. One's as soft as cotton, one's Louisiana spice. One offers me a julep, one says red beans and rice. They're getting to me, and I know they'll do me right. My mistresses are Memphis and New Orleans. I'm just like other Mississippi men. I know I can't have either one forever, but I gotta have them every now and then. They both live on the river and they both will take me in anytime that I may be inclined. Neither one is jealous, and I really do regret that I can't be with them both at the same time. Now this tale of two cities might wear another down, but best of times or worst of times, I'll still be coming round. That high-toned southern lady or that Creole French coquette, they both know how to lure me, and I'm bound to see them yet. When they call me back, son, I'm leaving Jackson, you bet. Yeah. My mistresses are Memphis and New Orleans. I'm just like other Mississippi men. I know I can't have either one forever, but I gotta have them every now and then. I know I can't have either one forever, but I gotta have them. Lord, you know I gotta have them every now and then.
All right, Les Kerr, everybody.
It's hard to sing that one sitting down. You want to move.
Well, you're going to move. You know, that's what Elvis said. I've always got to be moving. And I asked you this, because you've been in Nashville a long time, and I said, do people talk about Memphis in Nashville?
Yes,
Because there's a big rivalry between the two
Well,
cities.
they talk about Memphis and they talk about Elvis especially because he recorded over 200 songs there, starting with Heartbreak Hotel and Hound Dog, going up into his later years as a recording artist. And one of his piano players, you know, there was Glenn D. Harden, who was really famous for playing with Elvis, but Tony Brown played with Elvis too, and actually was on the record called From Elvis Presley Boulevard in Memphis, Tennessee. Tony Brown was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame just last year because he later produced the Judds and worked with Vince Gill and all those people. There are a lot of people that have Elvis connections, so you hear a lot about him. I work with not only Brent Stoker, who was Gordon Stoker's son, but Donna Frost, who is another songwriter. She is the niece of Felton Jarvis, who was Elvis's producer during the late 60s into the 70s. And she also toured as a singer with Skeeter Davis, and she and I worked together.
Skeeter recorded here in Memphis.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so there are a lot of, you'll hear a lot of cross references between the two cities.
You got another song for us?
I do. This one is called Retro. There comes a time when people they skip that old phase and go straight to retro, and that's my game plan.
That's where I am.
I play a 30-year-old guitar that I bought when it was new through an old tube amplifier built by Leo Fender too. I remember when the Beatles were a brand new band. My solid-state transistor played I Wanna Hold Your Hand. If I live to be 100, well, I guess I'm middle-aged. Life is one unfinished book. Each day you turn a page. Looking at the years ahead can't help but make me smile. I'm not older, I'm just retro. That's always been my style. I was loyal to the king all through his movie years, and on the day he died, I cried a hunk of burning tears. Thinking of how long that's been could really bring me down. But time moved on, I did too, and I'm glad I'm still around. If I live to be 100, well, I guess I'm middle-aged. Life is one unfinished book. Each day you turn a page. Looking at the years ahead can't help but make me smile. I'm not older, I'm just retro. That's always been my style. They call it vintage vinyl now, but I remember when You found the latest album in a retail record bin. You couldn't wait to get it home and hear the music play. Now you can download it, but the feeling's gone away. By the way, this song is available on Spotify, YouTube, and all those. I didn't think about that when I wrote that line.
Ding, 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 ding.
If I live to be 100, well, I guess I'm middle-aged. Life is one unfinished book each day. You turn a page, looking at the years ahead can't help but make me smile. I'm not older, I'm just retro. That's always been my style. I'm not older, I'm just retro. That's always been my style. Ba-da-ba-ba-da, ba-da-ba-ba.
All right, Les Kerr.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming down and
Thanks for having me.
playing for us here at Hernando's Hideaway. And speaking of retro, Hernando's is retro.
Absolutely.
And we'll have the guy that keeps all this place going come on here right after the break and tell us a little bit more about the history. So stay with us.
One more thing.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually did that when I rolled up to Graceland the first time I did an interview with his cook, Elvis's cook. And Bester was at the guard gate.
Oh, really?
He was Elvis's uncle, or Elvis, yeah, his uncle. I pushed the button and said, "I'm back, baby," and they did not take kindly to it. There no jokes about anything about that then. So I learned my lesson. I apologize profusely. We're going to take a quick break here from our sponsors, then we'll be right back to Hernando's Hideaway. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Dawn Grader, President and CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union at our new headquarters here in Collierville, Tennessee, off by Hellier Road. We are the proud presenting sponsor of the Earl Farrell for Memphis show and are looking forward to a great 2026 where some of the shows will be hosted from our new headquarters location here in Collierville.
Hello, Memphis Mid-South. And first, I'd like to thank you for visiting with Earl Farrell Memphis today. And we want to support him just like you do. I'm George Gully, one of the sales managers at Jim Kerr Chevrolet. We've been in business here in Memphis for over 75 years. I've been associated with the company for almost 25. And I'll help you find the right car, truck, or SUV here at not only our Chevy store, but also Buick, GMC, Nissan, Subaru. We can help you find that right car. Keep watching, Earl, and come see me. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Mitch Wright.
And I'm his son, Mickey.
And we're the owners of Mitch Wright Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And proud sponsors of the Earl Farrell for Memphis show.
We're thankful to be part of the Memphis community. We've been in business for 42 years, taking care of people and loving the people of the Mid-South.
Hi, I'm Jamison Totten, the Director of Live at the Garden and the Radiance Amphitheater.
Hi, I'm Olivia Wall. I'm the Director of Marketing Communications at the Memphis Botanic Garden. Coming up, we have John Legend. And now, the rescheduled date for Alabama, September 3rd.
Next, we have Cool and the Gang and Patti LaBelle on September 18th. Our last show will be a great show. So come on out, bring your cooler, your friends, your drinks, and your food, and have a great time at Live at the Garden under the stars.
Hi, I'm Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group in downtown Memphis. We are so pleased with our partnership with the Earl Farrell Show and very happy that he is broadcasting live from Lansky's at the historic Peabody Hotel. We're all here to make Memphis better.
Whoa! Walker Auctions here, speeding in to tell you about a massive online auction you don't want to miss. We've got a huge specialty contractor liquidation right here in Memphis, and everything has got to go. Check it out. It's packed with contractor equipment, racking, shop tools, even a Ford F-250, and a Genie Reach forklift. Whether you're a contractor, business owner, or just looking for a great deal, there's something here for everyone. Register today at walkerauctions.com or call Eric Walker at 901-491-0793. When it's time to sell, Walker Auctions doesn't fiddle around.
Hospitals ask him for advice. Janitors ask him for autographs. He once cleaned a mirror so well it became a window. He once cleaned a subway pole, and crime dropped 40%. He has never once read the instructions on a bottle of shampoo. The shampoo already knows what to do. Even Bleach thinks he overdoes it a little. Soap companies use him as the control group. Even his shadow practices good hygiene. He once cleaned a public restroom. Now it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. His laundry detergent contains 0% chemicals, just a photo of him on the bottle. He once coughed in a hospital, and everyone got healthier. The CDC occasionally calls him for backup. The 5-second rule doesn't apply around him. He organized a junk drawer so well, it's now a museum. He is the cleanest man in the world.
I don't always drink, but when I do, even the ice cubes feel disinfected.
And welcome back to Hernando's Hideaway, and I have a very special guest I've known almost 50 years, J.W. Whitten, who was Jerry Lee Lewis's road manager for almost 50 years. And you really were one of the first people I met when I moved to Memphis.
Yeah, I believe so, Earl. I remember it very well.
And that was the thing about Memphis I was so blown away with, is all these people you'd always heard about were all still here. They all still lived here. You'd see them out at clubs and dinner, and it's like it is in Nashville, where you see so many stars just out doing what they do.
Yeah.
And that's the way Memphis was and is. All the things I go to, I see you just about everything we go to.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Well, you're
Shit.
He has the same problem we all do. The phone never stops ringing.
Let me turn it down.
There you go. How did you meet Jerry Lee? How did that whole relationship begin?
It's kind of crazy. We back in the 70s, we all hung out in the same, run with the same circles, I guess would be the proper thing to say, clubs mostly, and we just became friends. And he'd invite me, before I worked for him, he'd invite me on trips because he had a huge airplane, seated 21 people.
Wow.
And one day he just said, well, more or less, Judd Phillips wanted me to come into the organization, work with Jerry, because they had a lot of people hanging around that they didn't even know what they did, other than draw a paycheck. So I said, okay. So that's how it started.
You traveled the world. You went everywhere with Jerry Lee. You met everybody who was contemporaries of his during all those years. Did he ever really, because he seemed the same person to me the entire time I've known him. I mean, he's unpredictable, but then I think you even could predict that he's going to be unpredictable.
Yeah, I could tell, but he would give me a look sometimes that he was over what was going on, and I'd get him away, but he was basically laid back, but if you said the wrong thing to him, especially if you criticized his music.
He didn't like that.
He didn't like that at all.
Well, you know, the thing about it is he was so creative. He did stuff that nobody else had ever done before.
True.
And so how could you say was it good? Was it right? He made it all up. It was Jerry Lee.
Well, most of the time people didn't mean it that way. That's just the way he took it.
Well,
but he could be in a laid-back mood and look over it. It just depended on the mood he was in at the time. But he said he's unpredictable.
But he was also very spontaneous. I remember one of the early stories I heard about him was when Billy Joel was over at Little Rock, comes over to Memphis because he got mad at his management there. They weren't paying him, but I don't know but he came to Memphis, and he came to, was it Poets?
Lafayette's music room.
And started playing. Somehow, this is back before cell phones, so I don't know how Jerry Lee found out about it. He goes to the hot air ball across the street, and he was playing. Were you along for that?
Well, he wasn't booked there. That was a hangout, and they kept a little electric piano there in case he came in. A two-piece band called We Two. And he'd get up most of the time and sing with them.
And so he did he do that because his territory had been invaded by Billy Joel?
No, not at all. Well, actually, when Memphis music thing was going with Knox Phillips, Jerry Williams, Eddie Braddock, they did a big show at the auditorium, and Billy Joel came in and presented Jerry some kind of award, introduced him as the piano man. The piano man introduces the piano man.
Wow.
That's the way it went.
But he certainly had the reputation, and nobody had ever seen anybody play the piano the way Jerry Lee did.
No, that's for sure.
And that just came out of him. I mean, he didn't copy anybody.
Well, he self-taught. And I've had music people say he doesn't play piano like you ordinarily do. He starts in the middle and goes out, where a lot of people start on the out and brings it in.
Wow.
So it's kind of phenomenal the way he played it.
This was one of the places that he showed up and was always welcome to come in. And he didn't even ask the band. He said he just walked up on stage.
Well, they knew him. They knew his music.
Sure.
They had played behind him in these clubs. Vapor, anywhere. He never had to have a band.
Yeah.
The band all knew him.
Yep.
And he'd get up and play here. We'd do a show out of town and come here and do a $30,000 show for free for people.
But that was always the cool thing about it. You never knew when he was going to show up.
Never knew. Well, Kenny Rogers, not the singer, we called him Red. He was if you looked on the definition of redneck in the encyclopedia, his picture would be there. A good guy.
Yeah.
But somehow he kept up with our schedule. And he'd know when Jerry was coming back in. He'd get up on the place would be packed. $2 to get in.
Wow.
Everybody's had you bring your own bottle. Sold beer only. Had one of the best hamburgers in town. And he'd get up and now, don't nobody leave. Jerry Lee's just landed. He'll be here in a little bit.
Wow.
So Jerry would come in the side door, and they'd never know he was here. Well, I happened to come out one day and witness a guy coming up and say, "Where is Jerry Lee Lewis going to play? If you don't get up and play pretty soon, I want my $2 back." And I was astounded by that.
Not the first or last time, I'm sure.
No.
What about the business has changed to you? Was it the internet? Was it cell phones? What changed the music industry more than anything else?
Internet, iTunes, all that. You can go on YouTube and get Earl Farrell any time of the day. It's just magic. It's unbelievable. If you want to hear an artist, you type his name in YouTube, and it's going to come up and you hear it.
And it's there forever.
Yep.
And when you think you didn't have a label behind you in the old days, you didn't go anywhere. You didn't get played anywhere.
No, you struggled. Struggled big time.
The thing that amazes me about, you mentioned Jerry Phillips, about Sam and Knox, is that they recognize talent, especially Sam, and he picked, look at the people he picked to be part of his stable, but he was smart enough to know that he wasn't big enough to do what they needed done for them.
No, it was a money thing. Like everybody condemned him for selling Elvis's contract for $35,000, I believe. Well, they didn't know that he needed that money to promote his other artists.
Yeah.
So that's where that came. But he never regretted it, as far as I know.
And I had the pleasure and honor to have met him when I first got here. And the thing that amazed me is he wasn't ever bitter about it. He said it was an honor and a pleasure to have helped them at some point in their careers.
Yeah.
And he was famous forever about it.
Yeah.
And he was thrilled about it.
Yeah, he was.
Just to have a part of that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Of all the people you met, and you met everybody in the music world, were most of them genuine people, or were you sometimes surprised about who was?
When you get in private, the biggest stars in the world, they're different. But if you're out in public, they're different. But most of them are basically nice. Because around Jerry, they couldn't be bad. Because he'd overcome that.
Well, he would.
Yeah.
And nobody tried to bully Jerry Lee under any situation.
I remember I was at Rod Stewart. Jerry and I were at Rod Stewart's house, and the new CD, Last Man Standing, and Rod played it, and he danced every song on that. And he was 69 years old at that time.
Wow.
Didn't sit down.
Saw just yesterday he had some kind of a heart thing, and they had to cancel some of his schedule.
Rod's I think around 80.
Yeah.
But he's a hard worker. He always has been.
Well, but who wasn't in today's world? Who isn't a hard worker? The music business is not an easy business.
It's not. All this technology makes you look good and takes a lot of pressure off of it. You still got to do it.
Yeah.
You
got to show up. You got to put in the time and coordinate it all.
Exactly.
I mean, that was your job, is how to get Jerry Lee around the world on time, on schedule.
Yeah, that's true. Let him know what time. Everybody said, how you get Jerry to do this? I said, well, you go to him 3 times and tell him in stages. And the 3rd time, he knows what's up. He's ready to go.
But don't surprise him.
No, you don't like surprises. No, not at all.
I mean, could you walk in the room and he'd look at you and you could say, this is not the time?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, we'd be a lot of people around, and I'd be watching. He'd give me a certain look. It's time to clear them out, or time to get out of there.
Yeah. So many times he's made his. I did a stand-up out in front of a Baptist hospital, the old Baptist hospital. He was in there for a perforated ulcer.
Yeah.
Back in the early '80s.
Yeah.
And that's in a documentary. It came out of Canada. And my brother-in-law called me and said, we're watching you in a documentary on Jerry Lee Lewis, I Am What I Am.
You was covering it when you was with 13 or 5? Which one?
With Channel 3.
3, yeah, it was 3, that's right.
In fact, I had sideburns like Elvis and a tie. You could have landed an F-16 on.
Well, your collar was a little bit larger than ones Elvis wore.
I don't think so. He pretty much took the cake for that.
Yeah, there's only 5% of the people survived that operation.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big deal. We thought we were going to lose him.
Well, that doctor stayed with him and saved his life. You know, Johnny Cash, we got telegrams from Elizabeth Taylor, Ted Kennedy, everybody in the world wishing him well.
Yeah. The relationship between he and Elvis, there's so many stories you hear here in Memphis and around the world about, did they get along? Did they like each other? Was Elvis intimidated by Jerry Lee or the other way around?
Well, they never, in later years, they didn't get to see each other talk, but Jerry did go up with, you may have heard this story. Jerry and Sam were riding around one night, and Elvis said, Sam said, let's call Elvis to see what he's doing. He comes, Elvis said, yeah, come on. So they went up, and Jerry and Elvis got on the piano, started singing and playing.
Is this at Graceland?
And this is at Graceland.
I'd never heard this story.
And Alan Fortas and George Klein were there. And Jerry went to leave. George told me that Elvis walked out on the porch, watched them drive away. He said, that Jerry Lee Lewis is a genius. And then they were in the limousine going somewhere else to a movie after that. And George and Elvis drove the limousine most of the time. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't.
George and Alan Fortas were sitting in the back seat raving about Jerry. So finally Elvis stopped and looked around and said, if you guys love Jerry so much, go to work for him.
You don't want to hear any more about Jerry.
Well, he's kidding, actually.
There's another story that supposedly started here at Hernando's. It was Jerry Lee's birthday, and somebody had given him a pistol. And he wanted to take it over and show it to Elvis. The story I heard for years was that he went up and was drunk and wanted to get in, and somebody said he had a pistol, and Elvis said that he wanted Elvis to come out. He said, well, I'm not going out there if Jerry Lee's got a pistol. He wasn't trying to. So God that's heard this story here was that he just wanted to go show him his birthday present.
Well, what happened was, it wasn't here. It was at the Vapors right down the street, a big supper
nightclub,
club.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Foreign gave Jerry a little derringer. He said, lay it on the dash, don't conceal it. The police won't bother you. Well, he had just bought one of those new Lincolns, had that long front end on it.
Right.
He pulled up to the gate and bumped the gate a little bit because he didn't know his distance. And the guard come out and said, he said, I want to see Elvis. You know, Elvis is asleep. So he was pretty persistent. And he forgot to roll the window down and threw a champagne bottle out and hit the glass on the Lincoln, brand new Lincoln, shattered it. He got arrested. So I had to go to court with Jerry. The judge gave him a little lecture. We found out that Elvis had called down there and said, don't
do
anything to him.
This story...
Even the DUI charge was dropped.
Because people in Memphis loved it. The same thing with Elvis.
Yeah.
Elvis, he got pulled over for not wearing his helmet, and it said it was against the law. And he said, well, I ain't wearing a helmet, because he loved his hair.
Yeah.
And so he didn't want to cover up his hair.
I couldn't recognize him if he had a helmet on.
What's the point of being Elvis?
He wanted to see him on that motorcycle.
That's exactly right. That's why he got the tricycle, so he could sit there and
Did
sign
you ever see the
autographs.
picture on the white motorcycle with a young girl on the back?
I have many times, yeah.
She got killed in a car wreck 1 month after that.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
I was looking at that picture just the other day. It was taken down around 3rd Street and like close to Stax.
Yeah.
But it's a very famous picture, and she killed an automobile accident. I had never heard that.
Yeah, 1 month later, she was killed in an automobile accident.
Wow. Well, he certainly brought a lot of famous people to Memphis that would come visit him. Nick Adams was some.
Oh, yeah.
Natalie Wood. They went out.
Everybody.
In fact, Linda Thompson's in town today. In fact, they were saying she's going to be at something, but everybody's here right now.
Yeah, she's been coming for the last 2 years, I think, Linda has.
Yeah.
Well, she's a Memphian anyway.
Yeah. She was on Hee Haw. That's the first place I ever saw her.
Hee Haw, and she married David Foster, of course. Bruce Jenner now, who's Caitlin.
Yep. They're probably watching you right now and trying to call you. Is that really you?
Sorry.
The story, another story I heard was from Dre Coletta that Elvis used to go play poker in the back room at Coletta's on South Parkway.
That's possible. They have
and that one night Jerry Lee came rolling up in the limo and said he wanted to send somebody up to say, "Can we come in? Is it too late to come get a pizza?" Because Jerry Lee's outside. And Elvis was in the back playing poker, and so they went and asked Elvis, "Is it okay if Jerry Lee comes in?" He said, "I don't want any trouble tonight. Just keep things simple." He said, "Tell him he can get one to go."
Yeah, well, it could be. I know nothing about that. It's very possible. Well, Billy Hill had a club down the street called the Manhattan. Elvis would always have birthday parties and New Year's Eve parties there.
When you guys would run into him, it would just be haphazard, just there's Elvis over there?
No, well, we just never did because Elvis didn't get out in public. Jerry's out every night.
And that's where I met him with you at, I think it was Alon's, when Alon's used to be upstairs when it first opened.
Yeah.
I walked in, I had a date, and I saw you, and I waved at you, and you waved us over. So I went over, and I got to meet Jerry Lee for the very first time.
Yeah.
And my date, and then we went and sat down, and he sent a bottle of champagne over.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, well, that was very nice. And I waved. And a minute later, the waitress came back and said, "Mr. Lewis says if you're not going to join him, he wants his champagne back."
That sounds like him, yeah.
That was his sense of humor.
Yeah,
though.
oh, yeah, sense of humor, yeah.
What was the best part about working for Jerry Lee?
Well, I loved him. He was my best friend, I guess, at the time. But just, I don't know, all the excitement. Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. It's always something.
He went through a lot of different things. Losing wives, when the IRS cracked down on him like they did Willie Nelson, and came. And I remember going to a warehouse where the IRS had all his stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they had not just his valuable things. They had his children's chest of drawers with their clothes in it.
Yeah, everything. They took everything.
How did he mentally take that?
Most people would have cracked, but he said that's just material things. That's the way he looked at it.
So did he get it back?
Just material things, but some things it bothered him, but he got a lot of it back.
He did. In fact, the Lewis brothers had the super cycle.
Yeah.
Ron and Lou Elliott. I'm saying Elliott.
Yeah.
They had his motorcycle because I think they had it in the back somewhere.
Yeah, they redid it, restored it.
And completely restored it.
Yeah.
And so they took it out to him, and he came out barefooted with no shirt on to see it. And he said, "Where are those long strings off the handlebars?" They said, "Don't you remember? They were beating you to death driving down the highway." He said, "Get those things off of there." So we didn't put them back on.
No.
But he loved his motorcycle.
Yeah.
He kept it inside. Somebody told me in the living room.
We took it to Meekum car auction in Florida.
Yeah.
And it sold for $350,000.
Wow. Just because it was Jerry Lee.
And he signed the seat on it. Some museum in Las Vegas bought it on the internet.
And when he had his club, Jerry Lee Lewis's nightclub here on Beale Street, he had a bunch of motorcycles in there.
Yeah, he had one that Harley had given him the 100th anniversary.
Yes.
And I think his son got that.
Did he realize, because a lot of times, and I'm sure you've been around people that are famous and incredible at what they do, but never really realize how big they are. Do you think he understood how big he was?
Well, he liked being recognized, but he didn't think, he knew he was a star, he knew he was a talent, but he didn't, I mean, he was out somewhere mingling with people every day. Big people think they're stars, they don't do that. And that's most of the time how he got in trouble, trying to be
just a regular guy?
A regular guy.
Because somebody always was say something.
Always something crazy. You always got to smart aleck going to start something.
And you don't want to be a smart aleck around Jerry Lee.
No.
What did he think of Jason D?
He loved Jason. Jason's a hard worker.
Oh, Jason loves him.
Yeah,
every time.
Jason's a very hard worker.
What did he think when he first saw Jason D. Williams?
Well, I tell you, to my best recollection, we were doing a show in Athens, Georgia, and I was standing out kind of watching sound check, and Jason walked up to me. I think he asked, could he play? I said, no, we got a piano player. He said, he played piano. I said, no, we've got a piano player.
We got guys pretty good.
I said, you got a band? He said, no, but I can play piano. I said, well, you should come to Memphis. And I think that's the way that happened.
Well, he told me that he actually came to Memphis in a really bad storm. I think it was a snowstorm.
Yeah, he could have, yeah.
And they pulled up to the Peabody Hotel and went inside. I think he played somewhere inside the Peabody.
He did. He played every afternoon there somewhere. Jack Bell loved him.
Yeah.
He gave him a duck walk out there on the street a few years ago.
Duck Prince?
Yeah.
Well, Memphis certainly loves him, and we all wondered how Jerry Lee was going to take this young kid coming in and playing just like him.
They're all over the world, man. You wouldn't believe the ones they have in Europe.
Really?
4 or 5 years old, playing piano, trying to dress like him, comb their hair like him. I've let a few come back and say hi to him. Jerry just look at him and laugh. Little killer, he'd say.
He called people the killer.
Yeah.
Other people.
Yeah.
It was hello, killer.
That was a nickname he got in high school. His best friend gave it to him, and it stuck. And he called people killer.
Yeah.
After that.
The thing I love about Memphis, though, is Memphis really lets the stars that live here be themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I was with Ringo Starr at the Peabody. We walk outside, and people just said hi to him like they saw him every day. Hey,
Yeah.
Ringo. And they kept on walking.
Yeah, they don't.
And that's the way it was with Jerry Lee. It was different with Elvis, but I think a lot of times when you try to avoid the crowds, that makes you more appealing to the crowds.
It did, and then it makes some of them mad. And they'll do something to start some kind of commotion. I've seen it happen many times.
Well, and just somebody else wants the attention.
We were in George Jones' club in Nashville. It's called Possum Holler one time. Everybody was grabbing at Jerry. Was trying to get to the VIP area and sit down. And this guy said, Jerry, you remember me? No, I don't believe I remember you, killer. I'm from Florida. You met me in Florida. I stepped on your foot. What did I say? You said, get off my GD foot. And that's what, he was happy to get to say that to him.
Yeah. That was his one brush with fame.
Yeah.
And that was the one story he had.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody that was good friends with Elvis, and he said that he told him one time, he said, Elvis said, I'm just really tired. And they said, well, take a vacation, Elvis. I mean, you're Elvis. Take a vacation. He goes, I can't take a vacation.
No.
Everywhere I go, people want me to be Elvis.
Yeah.
Elvis has to always be on.
That's right.
Did you get that impression?
Oh, yeah. Jerry hardly ever went on vacation. Every once in a while, he'd go somewhere. Back in his early days, he used to go to Charleston, South Carolina, every year. Had a station wagon. He'd load up Phoebe, his daughter, and Myra at the time, and he'd drive there every year and back.
But really, I mean, how do you drive up in a station wagon and you look over and it's Jerry Lee Lewis? I mean, it's like word would spread like wildfire wherever they went.
It would. It would. If he's in the air, and especially out of town, everybody would start gathering around, gawking and looking.
What is it like for you coming back to Hernando's after Jerry's been gone for a while now? I mean, does it bring you right back to when he used to come in here all the time?
Well, it depends on who plays, but I love it much more. I mean, they did so much to it. Remodeled it, got a full bar. They didn't have a full bar before. Beer only, bring your own brown bagging, they called it.
Yeah.
You know the term.
Sure.
But I love coming here. I was here Friday night as you were. I came Sunday night to see Jason.
He was packed.
I try to catch Jason every chance I get. He works hard, very hard.
Did you know he's a birder?
I knew he was a bird watcher. Yeah.
He and his wife both love watching birds.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
That's why I told him I wanted him to have him on the show, because I said, when they see you play, and he plays with his kids too. He's got his sons.
Yeah, he's got a son, Canyon. He's going to University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. But he was in here Sunday night, and he got up and played something.
He's great. In fact, he played down.
He's a natural-born piano player.
And you think about it, because I just with Lisa Marie, even though she tried to sing, she had a decent voice, but she's Elvis's daughter.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody wanted her to do and be Elvis, and she hated that.
Yeah.
She just hated it.
Well, she just wanted to be her.
Yeah.
And nobody would really let her. I saw her in an old interview with David Letterman, and he was asking her about being married to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And she just went.
No.
And he said, if you don't want to talk about this, fine. She goes, there really isn't a lot to talk about that everybody doesn't already know.
Yeah, true.
And so I think it had to be very, very difficult. And same thing with Jason D, although I think he and his son, they deal with it. I mean, they're totally different kind of people.
Yeah.
And
Jason would come out and talk to people after a show. They love him for doing that, take pictures.
Yeah.
He did it Sunday night.
Yeah. Well, couldn't be a better person that reminds us all of Jerry Lee and keeps his whole thing going.
Keep the fire burning, is what I tell him.
Well, there'll never be anybody else like Jerry Lee.
No.
And it was a great thing for you to spend your life
Earl, I cherished that time I was with him. I really did. I did.
The ranch, is the ranch still there? Or?
The ranch is a museum, and they're doing a tribute to Jerry, I think the 26th and 27th, a 2-day thing. Jerry's sister's going to come down and perform, and they've done a great job with it. You got to go down there.
I will do that. I'd love to go down there.
Let me know, and I'll call Michael Warren, who runs it, and he'll take care of you.
Well, they may come down there, do a thing with you, and walk around and kind of give us the tour.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you spending some time with us today, and I've always admired you. You've always been very nice to me and everybody. You've always, and you could move in and out of different crowds, and you're just a Memphian that we all know.
Memphian all the way. Born St. Joseph Hospital. Johnny Cash's daughter, Roseanne.
Yeah.
Johnny couldn't afford a cradle, so he pulled out a drawer and a Chester, and she'd sleep in that.
There's been a bunch of us that spent the night in Chester drawers.
Johnny told me that personally himself.
Yeah.
I said, huh?
Did you get along with him?
I loved him, yeah.
Did
Carl,
Jerry Lee?
Yeah, I loved him.
Carl Perkins is one of the nicest people I've met in my life.
Yes, definitely.
I asked Carl one time, I said, does it disappoint you that you didn't have the life Elvis did? He goes, no. He said, I got to lead pretty much a regular life.
Yeah, he didn't really want the superstar thing, but he was well loved. Still today, his music's everywhere.
Absolutely.
The Beatles adored him, as you know.
Yeah. Well, I met him at the Peabody. Gary Bells came and got me, and he said, hey, you got to get in here. He's here right now. And we sat down and talked, and it was like I'd known him for 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it was with everybody.
Yeah, that's for sure.
J.W. Whitten, thank you, sir.
You are quite welcome.
And we'll do this again. Maybe the tour of the ranch will be the next thing.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right.
Maybe if we do it at Lansky, I might con him out of one of those jackets.
Well, I'll do my best to help you.
Thank you, Earl.
Thank you. Robert, we have a break to go to, or how are we going to make this transition? Did we ever... Zane's here. Okay, we're just going to swap seats then. And JW, thank you, sir. And then Zane can slip in here. And we'll do this the way they do it on the Johnny Carson Show. Bring out the next guest. And Zane knows the theme song.
Would you like some headphones, sir?
No.
This is Zane Lee,
Zane Charles.
Zane Charles. Because I saw on the picture it said Lee, so I thought that, okay. But it's Zane Charles. Okay.
Mrazovich.
That's why you go with Charles.
Yeah.
How did you get involved with Hernando? To know your sister and Dale have been together for a long time. How did that come about? And what did you think when you first met Dale?
He's got good hair.
He does have good hair. So do you, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, this is his joke, Is this thing on right?
But so did she obviously met him first.
Yeah.
And admired his talent, and obviously he treated her well because they've been together a long time.
Yeah.
I met him when he first bought Hernando's. He came on my radio show, and they said he's from Texas. And I went, well, he can definitely come on my radio show because that's where I'm from. And he came on, and it's kind of weird. He's not flamboyant when you first meet him. and he told the story and said, yeah, we really admired Hernandez. We think it could be a lot more. And it was such a perfect joint. Not unlike some of the places Willie Nelson made famous in Texas.
Yeah.
But this was Memphis.
Yeah.
Is that the motivation behind buying?
That and just the history alone. He said he was in here in the 80s, and that's how it looks the way it looks now, is that he kind of made it look like what he remembered back in the 80s when he came in here.
Well, like JW said, this is a lot nicer than
yeah,
Hernando's
from what I heard, yeah. I never saw it, well, besides the pictures I've seen that Dale had when he first bought it. Yeah, it didn't look anything like this when we got it.
Well, Rob, who works with me on the show, we came and spent the day with you, and we were totally blown away by what you've done electronically and digitally to Hernando's Hideaway. I mean, you guys are basically a venue that you live stream all kinds of acts from all over the world.
A lot of that's Dale. We started off live streaming during COVID stuff, and we started off with a phone, just
one phone.
Didn't have that right. It was sideways or this or that,
Yeah.
And then now we got 3 cameras up in the ceiling and all that.
Well, it's very well lit. I mean, you've done an exceptional job of lighting, your sound.
Yeah.
You're actually running 3 different sound streams.
When I do live stream, yeah, you
get live stream, you get the house audio,
stream audio, cameras, in zooming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you self-taught?
No, I didn't go to school for any of that. I didn't know how to do
trial and error.
Yeah. I've always been hands-on, so as long as I can.
Well, I know that I've been here, your sister's been here, and she worked extremely hard, and Dale is always on tour.
Yeah.
In fact, they're in Austin now.
No.
Oh, they didn't stay there.
Selene's in Austin. Okay. Dale's can't keep up with him, but he's somewhere out on tour, somewhere in the Midwest. Yeah.
We don't know where.
I do know. I just got to look at the schedule.
They're in a documentary that's currently going to the film festivals.
Mm-hmm.
One South by Southwest in Austin, then down in Miami.
It already, I think the premiere was in Miami.
And they won an award, in Austin?
I believe so.
But it's on songwriters from the South. Is that the premise?
I believe so, yeah.
I've seen a pretty good sized clip of it. In fact, we tried to get it to run today, but we were having a problem with
That's all I've seen, too.
But it's very well done.
Yeah.
And
I can't wait to see it.
I actually saw Dale smile and laugh.
He does, actually.
He does. I saw it happen. They were talking about the song you wrote about your sister. But I hope you live longer than me.
Yeah.
And she said,
"If you live me, outlive me," or
"If you love me,
outlive me."
Yeah, and but they seem to have a great relationship, and that positive attitude comes from you as well, and everybody that works here. People that have not been to Hernando's really don't know what they're missing.
Yeah, yeah, it's a labor of love. It's a lot of work
because it is hard work.
Yeah.
The guy you had in here today who's playing tonight.
Yeah, Victor Trevino.
He is amazing.
Yeah. You should see him do his cramp show.
Really?
Oh, he does the cramp. Blow you away.
And he won the Elvis tribute.
Last year, the year before. I forget what they call it.
He didn't do any Elvis in here today, but from just his talent, the songs and most of the stuff he plays now, he's written.
Yeah.
But he's very good.
Yeah. I first met Victor in Austin at the Stockyards. Dale was playing there, and
Fort Worth is Stockyards.
Yeah, in Fort Worth.
In fact, he told me that's where he's from. Is Fort
yeah,
Worth.
That's where. Yeah. So we were just out on the road doing Dale stuff, and Victor was out there. I remember I had to drive the van home that night. That place, they serve Lone Star beer, so you know how that goes.
Oh, yes, I do. I used to sell Lone Star beer in my restaurant over in the square, and it was not easy to get.
Right.
Have y'all got a source here?
Well, it's still not easy to get here. We had a whole case of a wall over there of Lone Star beer, but
it's gone.
I know that Lone Star had an issue with something with their rebottling and changing plants, and ever since then it's been a little bit of an issue to get it. But
well, that's the Lone Star is one of the sponsors of this documentary, isn't it?
Yeah, and Dale sponsored.
Well, that's
they sponsor him for I don't even know how long, but a long time.
Do y'all have him on schedule to come back here anytime soon?
They should. Well, we have to go through distributors. I mean, Dale's got no problem getting Lone Star. They hook him up very well.
When's he coming back to play?
I'd have to look on the schedule.
You probably have to ask him.
I don't even know who's playing here tomorrow. I just go a day at a time.
Tonight, who's
That's Victor Trevino and Black Elvis.
And Black Elvis.
Yeah, he starts up at 5 o'clock.
That's one at 5.
Yeah, Robert
we got to
Washington.
get out of here for that one. So, well, if you haven't been to Hernando's Hideaway, I highly recommend it.
Yep.
The acts are great. Ronnie was here last week, and we saw that. And Jason D comes here. He's like Jerry Lee used to. You never know when he's going to show up here.
Yeah. Black Keys, who knows?
Yeah.
Or, well, we got Black Elvis coming. We know that.
Yeah. And you never know who's next.
That's right.
All right. Zane, thank you for spending some time with us, letting us in early before the
Shout out to Hal Lansky for the jacket.
We had a bottle here.
Yeah, I put it somewhere.
It's my Hal Lansky jacket. Wherever you look, you see one.
Yeah.
So Les had his on today.
That's the Boo Mitchell version.
It is, yeah. And Boo's got his. So you ain't from Memphis if you ain't got a Lansky jacket.
Right.
That's for sure. Well, thank you very much, Zane.
Thank you.
And we'll be back.
All right.
That is our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It's Elvis week all the way through the weekend. Get down here to Hernando's Hideaway. You will have a good time, and you'll love this guy tonight. I mean, I was blown away by him. We'll see you next time.